Well, we talk an awful lot on this show about misaligned interests and how they're keeping all of us from dealing with the real issues facing this country, whether it's investors and entrepreneurs, doctors and patients, teachers and students. There's a belief in this country that the Tea Party and the Occupy movements have completely opposing goals. But there may be a basic underlying belief that both groups, along with, by the way, every other group in America, shares. That we as Americans should not tolerate two sets of rules in this country that are sold off for money, tax favors, subsidy favors, all the things that happen in Washington, D.C. One set of rules for those who are purchasing them in Washington as a business, and another set for those who either can't purchase those rules or don't know how. The institutionalization of two sets of rules as our base government system affects our tax code, our subsidies, the nature of our healthcare system, our educational system, the development of our careers, the culture of investment. The list goes on. And it is that most basic unfairness which unites not only potentially groups like the Tea Party or the Occupiers, but every last one of the 311 million Americans that are currently responding in their own way to the realization and the need to address this problem. And joining us now is Mark Meckler. He is one of the founders of the Tea Party Patriots. He's also publisher of MarkMeckler.com, Across the Fence. The title says it all. You're a man, Mark, who appears by all accounts to be a civilized and reasonable man. This is because people are not familiar with your history carrying around a mohawk when you were in college in Sacramento. We'll get a picture one day, and then they'll believe you're a true radical.
I've burned most of those, but it is true. The mohawk and the dog collar, I have to admit.
So give me, do you agree with what I just said?
I do agree with what you said. I think there are two sets of rules. I think most Americans are starting to understand that. And I think, you know, you've talked a lot about us versus them on this show and, you know, sort of talked against it a little, but I really think there is an us versus them. It's the citizens versus the ruling elite. That's the real fight taking place in this country.
And elaborate on that. What is that? What is that fight?
You know, at the base level, at the government level, it's people who are in office, incumbents who've been there for far too long, who are tied to big business interests, primarily, I think, public corporations that buy influence in government, as you discussed. It's this confluence of big government and big business, or big government and big union as well, from my perspective.
And what is the commonality that's not a Tea Party point of view, that's an American point of view?
I agree. I think that is fair. I think that the Tea Party has helped to create this discussion in America. To me, that's the greatest success of the Tea Party. I mean, certainly people were elected and all that, but more importantly is the debate has changed and these issues are now being discussed openly.
There's an interesting dynamic, especially when you look at forget the realities, when you look at the media portrayals and the sort of the real the most uninformed and most popularized portrayals would suggest that a movement like the Occupation, which is a bunch of crazy protesters in the park, beating drums, getting arrested, all this stuff, could not have anything in common with the Tea Party, which is very well organized, has a very specific political apparatus that it's been able to build. And yet when I personally go around and talk to people that self-identify as Tea Partiers and or occupiers, or neither, by the way, they tend to tell me the exact same thing, which is that we've got two sets of rules on that elaboration. How do we get past the sort of the optical issues of Mark Meckler with a dog collar and a mohawk versus Mark Meckler as an upstanding attorney from California, same guy, different identity? It seems we seem to be lost in identity here.
Well, I think we do get lost in identity. I think the politicians like it that way. They want us to fight. They want Republican versus Democrat. They want liberal versus conservative, pro-life versus pro-choice. They profit from that fight. So our job as Americans is to strip away that fight, to find the commonality, and to take back our government for the citizens. It's really about self-governance. It's about devolving power back to the people.
Which technology makes possible on a level that we've never seen before.
And you see that in the Tea Party. You see it in the Occupy movement. It is literally the network networking of democracy.
And you see it with the learning with people, the hotspotting in hospitals, the hotspotting in schools. You see all these communities that are not waiting for a government plan for health care. You've got Dr. Brenner in New Jersey reforming the way they do health care, and we can go around the country and do these things. You have a very specific idea, though, and not just an idea, you have a very specific task that you're devoting yourself to in this election season to get to what you see as the root, which is total lack of fear on the part of incumbent politicians that they will lose their job if they continue to betray the American people. Fair?
That's very fair. And the truth is that incumbents are stuck there. They're in. The system is stacked against the challenger. Only 4 members of the House of Representatives lost their seat in the primaries in 2010 out of 435. That's extraordinary.
And that was supposed to be a wave election.
The wave election.
That's like the Tea Party
By the
wave.
way, that's a 33% increase over average. Normally 3 lose their seats. So basically there's a campaign out there. It's not my campaign, but it's something that I'm supporting. It's called Campaign for Primary Accountability. And the goal of the campaign is to remove 50 Republican incumbents in the House of Representatives in their primaries and 50 Democratic incumbents. It's to shake up the power structure. It's to remove people who no longer represent their constituents but are still in office today.
Why, and I totally agree with this, but why is it so important? And I mean, it seems like it really depowers. You can fight money in politics all day, but it would seem that the power of money in politics would meaningfully diminish if the incumbent politicians were fearful that they would lose their job if they were seen to be beholden to some moneyed interest, right?
That's absolutely the truth, and that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to reinstall fear in the political cycle, responsiveness to constituency. You know, there's a great race that's an example of this. In Ohio, you've got Marcy Kaptur, who's a 30-year Democrat in the House of Representatives, just redistricted into Kucinich's district. These two guys are together now, fighting it out, right? So you have a guy who I might not agree with politically, Dennis Kucinich. I think he's far too left. A lot of folks on the right would say that. Marcy Kaptur probably actually more to the right than him. But he's the real man of the people. He's a guy that fights for what he believes, and the campaign is actually supporting Kucinich.
Because you feel that the Kaptur seat is basically a royally a seat bequeathed by the royalty, whereas Kucinich, you at least believe, is a man of integrity.
She's a party hack, and he does what he believes.
And you have one other story, same thing with the Republican.
Same thing, we've got Dan Burton in Indiana, and the Campaign for Primary Accountability participated there, found out that he had a very low approval rating among his constituents, did the polling, put out the polling, and I'm happy to say that Burton has now announced his retirement.
All right, listen, it's a pleasure to have you here. I look forward to both learning more and doing more with you.
Thank you for having me.
Mark Meckler, Across the Fence. That's a good title. Check it out at markmeckler.com. We all know the Tea Party, and we heard one Tea Party point of view. How does one of the founding members of the Occupy movement feel about what we just discussed? Find out right after this. Remember, united we stand and divided we fall in the search to get America the debate it desperately deserves in a march to create 30 million jobs in this country.
That's when we are.